Happy New Year, everybody. I hope you all are having a fantastic start to 2026. Now, I understand this is a new year, and before we get into 2026, I want to go back and revisit the great movies of 2025. I wanted to make this video longer, but I also wanted to do a separate video for my top 10 most anticipated movies for 2026 of this year. So I'd rather just get this one out of the way and then move on to that one, especially after recording this. Because this is my list for what I think are the best movies of 2025. At number 10, I had Mickey 17. Mickey 17 was a movie that actually surprised me. A man who signs up to have his body reprinted after every time he dies, until one day he doesn't die and he gets reprinted anyway, so now there's two. So now he's dealing with the accidental birth of his doppelganger. Every actor in here put on a splendid performance. Mark Ruffalo, Steven Yeun, but the one reward this probably goes to, and I hope he gets nominated for an Oscar this year, it's Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson having to pull off two different types of characters in one movie. Brilliant. He is amazing. The action in this movie is amazing. The alien aspect, another planet aspect is also incredible to see. Amazing world building. And if I may add, an accurate political standpoint that they do follow in the movie as well. At number 9 is the movie I just saw today and it made the list. Marty Supreme. This movie, oh my god, if you thought this movie was about ping pong, it is not about ping pong. Well, it is 20% of the time. However, the other 80% of this movie is about this guy named Marty, played by Timothée Chalamet, who is the table tennis king and is the paddleball himself, bouncing back and forth, con after con after con. He is not a great person, but you find yourself rooting for him almost 80% of this time. This one blew me away and it made it number 9 on the list. Now moving on to number 8, F1. Now, sorry if I offend any F1 fans here, but I don't know jack when it comes to F1. And this movie, I thought, was excellent. Brad Pitt knocks it out the park with his performance, playing a prominent racer who one day gets into an accident who almost ended his career. And that plot alone leads up to so much drama and so many emotional and intense scenes. This movie is incredible. At number 7, I have One Battle After Another. Oh my god, this might be my favorite Paul Thomas Anderson film of all time now. Leonardo DiCaprio knocks it out the park. Tiana Taylor knocks it out the park. Regina Hall knocks it out the park. I would not be surprised if this movie won Best Picture at the Oscars, because this movie is just such a great story and an incredible fun time. But you know what wasn't that much of an incredible fun time? It's the movie that made my number 6, and that's The Smashing Machine. Now, I know a lot of people are mixed with this movie, but I actually really enjoyed the aesthetic and style this was shot on. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson gives a genuine performance in a role that I am not used to seeing him in. The story of Mark Kerr and what he's going through was just so emotionally impactful, and with the performance of Emily Blunt as well, just made it even more emotional. This was a great take on the story of Mark Kerr, and I am not ashamed to keep this movie on my list moving forward. At number 5, I have The Companion. This is just a story that I do not think will be replicated very well moving forward. A story about a love android who is manipulated constantly by the man she loves until she's finally had enough. Seeing this story from the perspective of the android was just such a great decision. It made for great scenes, it made for impactful and intense scenes, and throughout this whole movie you are rooting for this android as she gets out every detail of what she's been through. At number 4, I have Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. This movie is so cinematically beautiful to look at. I thought the costumes definitely fit the time period and were just beautiful to look at as well. The highlight of this movie is just the performances by Oscar Isaac and Jacob Elordi. Oscar Isaac having his story to tell as Dr. Frankenstein in the first chapter, and then having Jacob follow up with the monster story is brilliant. But probably my favorite thing about the movie is the design of the monster. This is one creepy, badass design, and this has definitely made my list for not just 2025, but greatest movies of all time. At number 3, I have Superman. This movie gave me hope. This movie has me excited for the DCU. James Gunn, I feel like you know what you're doing, and I'm super excited with you moving forward as the CEO of DC, and I hope you keep writing projects like this. The character of Superman is explored very well. The world building of the DCU is incredible, introducing other superheroes in here like Hawkgirl, Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific, and many more. The chemistry between Superman and Lois Lane was incredible, but overall, the chemistry between Lex Luthor and Superman was probably the best part about this movie. Lex Luthor is a menace in this movie and probably my favorite character in this movie as well. At number 2, I have Sinners, a movie that tackles violence, music, religion, and overall just acceptance. Made for such a great time. I'll tell you, every screening that I went to had the audience on their feet. Michael B. Jordan knocks it out the park with playing two characters as Smoke and Stag. Miles Caton in this movie with his first feature role, he did incredible, amazing. Haley Steinfeld was also incredible. But probably my favorite thing about this movie is the score. It is incredibly scored. Ludwig, you've done your job. In any movie you attach to, I'm just going to expect an amazing score out of you. And that leaves me with what I think is the best movie of 2025, and my number one is The Long Walk. The Long Walk being a story adaptation from Stephen King. Oh my god. And on paper it might not sound like the most entertaining story, but trust me, it was. Having to be connected to these characters, why they're in the walk, why they're doing this. I can probably name 3 times this movie had me tearing up. Great chemistry by the 2 leads. Mark Hamill did a great job playing a very blunt antagonist. And overall, the ending of this movie, which I loved. I know some people are mixed on that, but I read the book after the movie, and you know what? I prefer the movie ending. This was just an incredible story. But with that being said, that is my best and worst movies of 2025. I hope you all enjoyed, and stay tuned for my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2026. I'll see you all in the next video.